Shalom, Salama, Siemi, Shalom. Greetings to all of my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahusha HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. Sorry, family, I came on a little later. I was looking at some videos today. There was a video on Facebook. And shout out to Minister Teyu. And if Minister Teyu shares a video, I'm gonna watch it. Has to be something interesting. It's got to be something good. And there was a white man saying, warning white folks in the city. Just telling them, look, y'all about to be the tail and not the head. This is something I think captured on TikTok. But it's funny because the clear and present danger of what they believe is now happening in front of their eyes. Black folks done woke up. Black folks are coming together. Black folks, especially on the continent, are now doing things. See, Judah and Ephraim were both oppressed. We were oppressed together. Our oppression just happened to be off of the continent. Their oppression was on the continent. And now we're beginning to see each other and the historical struggles that we have been in. Keep in mind, family, over there on the continent, they really don't know what we've gone through. That has not been taught to them. Their information is very highly controlled. And so when you say, have you not heard what we've gone through? Have you not understood what we've gone through? Their answer is going to be, no, we haven't. Not really. Sorry. Because they've been oppressed just as much as we have. But they don't understand that even though you may have nicer things, that oppression is still real. And those nicer things come with the cost. Because the moment that we leave our house, as a matter of fact, we can be up in our house and still get shot and killed just by laying on the couch and playing video games, just by laying in your bed and being shaken early in the morning. That has been the lives of our people. And you can't say it's not when all of the video evidence, protests tell a different story. You can get killed for just running a simple errand. But when it's all, when the smoke has cleared, I'm going to say, and they try to say, no, it's not that big of a deal. And of course, you have CNN and the BBC. They'll say, they'll give their spin. You got to listen for the spin. What is the lie that they will try to impose? And there's always a lie. Do not get it twisted, family. There is always a lie. Because the lie is the systematic control. When you're dealing with vanity, you're dealing with lies. When you're dealing with the vainest people, you're now dealing with the people that love to lie. And now those lies have turned into the illusions and gimmicks that the world is no longer enthralled by. My thumbnail, I believe, I thank the Most High that they're pulling rabbits out of hats now. Because why? Because now they're losing control. What was once an empowering concept to them is no longer an empowering concept because the illusion has been found out. And then when you simply state, listen, this illusion's false, this illusion's false, this illusion's false, and here's all the evidence that proves it. I have conversations about these things to white people, and I'm unapologetic. And they'll say, you know what, some will say, hey, I appreciate the information. Others will scoff and they'll never talk to me again. And that's okay. But I'm not going to lie to your face and make you feel comfortable. I'd rather just tell you the truth. And that truth is either going to save you or destroy you. The choice is up to you. I know that just sounds like a Boondocks episode. I know. You can do it the hard way or you can do it the easy way. The choice is up to you. The- Russia's now telling the West, don't drop the soap. Oh, man. I don't even know where that came from, family. I'm sorry. The West is about to get the booty warrior. Yo, you've been playing games. They've been playing games. Oh my goodness. But now they see it. This is what they see. The crazy thing is that if you have been in this truth for over 5, 6 years, this thing has literally just been like a roadmap. And all we've been doing is just seeing this roadmap in action. And we're just putting down the street, seeing everything come to pass. And now, what the West is doing is they see that their kingdom, and not their kingdom, it's their kingdoms. They see their kingdoms coming to an end. They're seeing their resources begin to drain and swallow up. They're seeing that the conveniences of who they used to colonize, those relationships are no longer as convenient as they once were. And they see those relationships falter because the plant that they've had in power has now been dethroned. And now they have to deal with a reality of the consequences. And a lot of folks did not want to look at the reality that was quickly coming because when sanctions do not work, countries' ears will perk up. And Russia was the biggest test run. And now everyone's eyes are on Russia because they're fighting a conflict and they're still making money at the same time outside of Western monetary policy. Those are the biggest threats to the West. So now for them, the West, now they have to internalize and look towards themselves, and they're going to say, we have a problem because now these other nations are going to get the stroke of genius and figure out the solution. And we're not ready for that. That's what they are saying right now. We truly don't know the impact of the shortages of rice and flour and other goods because now you have to understand a large amount of uranium is off the table, especially for France. Matter of fact, that was France's reserve. That was their supplier. And so Niger literally took that away, and now you have Burkina Faso and Mali saying they got Niger's back, which means by default, Russian protectorship. Let's just examine the facts and examine reality, which means France ain't going to come up against Russia. So, what that means is in the next 3, 4 months, when it starts to get cold, they now have really 90 to 120 days because when that heat has to come on in France, what do you think is going to happen when France's bills are about to be exponentially worse? Remember, the UK had all these crazy behind energy bills last year, and now we're about to see France get hit by the same thing. Oh, and by the way, as we have a global food shortage, because obviously the rich will buy up everything, and then, us poorly, plebeian class will have to endure the shortages. And that is the Western standard. And honestly, the ones that get it first are those that are out in the country. And then it slowly matriculates into the cities, those are your larger population centers. If you're more sparse, then guess what? You're not a threat. So therefore, you get your resources cut off. That's government 101, governance 101. The outliers are the first ones that you cut off. And that's the risk because if you're an outlier, then technically you should already be self sufficient. So when you do get cut off, it ain't that big of a deal. But when you're in the city, you are not an outlier. You are now labeled a potential threat because why? Because if your lack of resources become self evident to the point of realization that your basic needs, you could do the Maslow's hierarchy, you can incorporate what the definition of shelter is electricity part of shelter? Some can argue it is, but you would need your food and you would need your water. And if your electricity can't even come into your house, then what does that do for your water supply and your food supply if it's based off of a logistic supply chain that utilizes energy? It all shuts down. And then when it shuts down, civil unrest. And then when civil unrest happens, new governments form. New governments form because someone will be saying, I can do it. I can bring it back online. I've solved the problem. And then you have to see there may be one problem solved. There may be one solution that is capitalized on, but the whole problem may not be solved. And it may be a defunct promise. And then you more likely, inevitably, you just reinstitute the same statesmanship, statecraft that plunged that society into disorder to begin with. Babylon never goes away. All Babylon does is it gets rebranded. When Babylon truly goes away, then guess what? The nation that rejects Babylon, they want to attack it. Hence, this is why you see the proxy attack on Russia. It is what it is, family. These sanctions were not working. Okay, here we go. And the problem is, this isn't something that's revolutionary or eye opening or all that. No, this is something now that the whole world sees. And now, not the whole world that sees it, but the main audience that sees it and recognizes it and now can articulate this is the game plan. And when your game plan has been perfected over time, when it's become a scholarly reflection of academia, when academia has proved and has been proven in the physical arenas of policy. Well, there's a big old structure that's there that becomes the underpinnings of how this thing is running. And if those underpinnings are now exposed, it's like this. Well, once you expose the sheetrock and now you see the studs and you see that the studs are rotting, the termite infestation, well, chances are that house is going to fall. And when that house does fall, no one really ever builds the house back up. What they do is they destroy the house some more. They make it manageable for the house to be hauled away in a dump truck. And then eventually, when people feel that it's safe, they'll remove the house from the studs or the foundation. They'll chop that on up, regrind it, sift it back down to dust, repour a different foundation, and may build something either completely new or may not even build at all. They just may say, well, you know what? We'll give this to the fields. And then pretty soon when that foundation gets weathered and cracked and from the storms, from the wind, eventually the grass will grow over it. Eventually vegetation will cover it. So then what was is no longer. And then it becomes a distant memory, a folklore, a legend, a tale. We're in a time where we see this word coming to pass. And we know the end result of prophecy. So after this generation has gone by, you're going to have in about the 5 or 6 generations away that will start to say, well, that's folklore. This this thing of the regathering, I don't know if it's ever really been here. I don't think that they were ever really in our lands. I don't think that they were ever this and ever that. Because remember, when we're gone, you all have to understand this. When we have gone and left and have come back to the land, these nations are going to do the biggest scrubbing campaign to remove any trace that we were there. They will go through, bury up, dig up bones, whatever they can, and they'll put that in the fire. We don't want to relive our shameful memories of the past. That's what they'll say. No. We know that we are 1,000 years on the bench. So let's do what we can to ensure that when that time frame is up and we can go back full force, We position those generations at that time to be able to take back what they believe had gone away. And again, it won't be what was stolen from them. It was to take back what was their birthright. And that's to control us in perpetuity. Because why? Because we'll be living in a land of unwalled villages. They know what's coming because I don't say, well, this is a black version of the Bible. No, this is a word. China knows the word. That's why China wants to redo the word, but China knows that that's the curse on them. So just because they're planning something doesn't mean that they'll do it. But it does create that narrative. Well, where did they get the idea from? If they want to change the Bible, redoctor it, where did they get the idea from? It wasn't just an idea that China came up with overnight. No, they're looking at their other Japhetic counterparts. They're looking at their other Japhetic cousins. Sorry, China is not Moab. Sorry, charters. Gog and Magog. So they will see, and they have seen the Japhetic counterparts. And they may try and do it for a time. They might try and do it for a season, but that's going to be hard to replicate when the Most High's people, when Yasharel is back in its land. Because there are prophetic declarations that will be said when we're back in our land. Not here, not now. And to be honest, I'm not even sure in this time. I believe, though, that in generations to come, they'll figure it on out. Oh, these are the people of Israel. These are the real people of the Most High. So what they will do is they'll try to come up with some narrative and everything else. You have to understand the victor gets the narrative. They get to win the narrative. And I truly believe that that was and that is the narrative that I believe Russia is going to utilize and go with. And honestly, I think that's what they're doing right now. There's a reason you had the iconography. There are a lot of meetings that happen behind closed doors, and we will never be privy to that ever. This is why, look, I just tell you, I'm speculating based off of the word. I'm speculating based off of prophecy. I'm speculating based off of Isaiah 60. But now, all of a sudden, now all these nations and sub-Sahara are saying we need to take a look because why? Because the discussions are being had. It's not just Museveni. It's not just happening in Rwanda. It's not just happening in Tanzania. It's not just happening in Kenya and Ethiopia. And then when you get into the Sahel, oh, the discussions are over. And you're seeing the action taking place. And that's what they're afraid of. If this started there in the Sahel and it sweeps more south, well, the backstop is South Africa. But South Africa, they're also a proponent of anti West. So now you have the continent on fire. And now the world's resources are in danger. Do you understand when they say the world's resources? No, what they're saying is the resources on Africa is in danger because the supply chain is being threatened because now they can see logistical challenges from what they're not able to control anymore. And if they can't control it, guess what that means? They pay a higher price for it. And if they pay a higher price for it, then guess what that means? Their people are in trouble. The West has been established by trade imbalance. That's all that is. It's trade imbalance. Oh, you want to do a fair trade? Okay, okay. Give me 6 months. We'll do a fair trade, and then that regime collapses somehow. That government collapses somehow. So much for that fair trade. I thought it was fair trade. I thought we were dealing in good faith. If someone can tell me what that means with them historically, I'll be surprised. But now that they know that they know that they know, Here comes pulling more rabbits out the hat, and I'm going to tell you the reason that their illusions and their gimmicks and everything else is now farcical because the last thing that they can manipulate, and they're doing it well, the only thing that they can manipulate is the stock market. That's it. If the numbers are in your control, then guess what? It's going to be controlled. If you believe in the stock market, then guess what? Then you believe in magic. And we're going to have all the bunnies coming out the hat on this one. Look at this magical run. Look how well the stock market's doing. Look at all this and all that. Look at your 401k statement. Look, 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 look. And then Fitch Rating says, we're downgrading your credit. Why are you downgrading the credit? I thought everything is looking good. The stock market, the stock market, the stock market, the stock market, the stock market. What is that trying to do? What are they trying to set up for? Because they know that they can't hold the illusion that long. So, what does that mean inevitably for this country when they can't hold the illusion very long and the monies begin to wane? Well, you saw it in 2002, 2003. We going to war with somebody. And we saw how crazy things will pivot and shift and how things will be made so nonsensical that people just believe the hype. You have Osama bin Laden. So we're going to go over to Iraq and steal their oil for freedom. Well, it's for freedom's sakes. I wouldn't be surprised if Biden makes a speech. You know, we've been doing this and doing that, and terrorism and financial stuff and all this, and we're going to war against South Africa. What? We're going to war against the Congo. Look, look, look. What I'm trying to tell you is you don't need to worry about thinking about these policies here. Biden licks his lips. Uh, uh, this is something that the administration knows needs to happen. Uh, I only have 30 seconds before my heart rate monitor goes off, and I'm in danger of either collapsing or messing on myself. Or look, look. All I can tell you is The cocaine was in Hunter's. All I can tell you is I'm up here because I was smoking my little crystal glass. We'd have turned the White House into the trap house. I got my I got my triple beam in the West Wing. I'm blasting Master P. How else do you want us to get out of this deficit? They call me Joe Nino Brown Biden. My new LP, White House down, crack house up, insane in the vein. Congress got that work. I'm your pusher, man. We I know I talk too much on this press conference, but that's what happens when you get high on your own supply. Now, bring me some children. I need to hug some children and touch them all weird like. Bring the girls. Oh my goodness. We're appalled for finding drugs in the White House. How long was that episode? What? A week? Case closed. It just must have been a White House visitor just dropped his bag of cocaine. No big deal. I had to fire that Secret Service agent. He didn't know the the quote unquote unspoken rules. We call it here my fairy powder, my elixir fixer. Well, I just mix it in with my Coca Cola, just like what my great great grandpappy used to do, way on out there in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Uh, oh boy, I'm sorry, family. I'm cutting up this morning. I call this my stimulus check. He sniffs all hard, covers up his face, his nose. Sorry, it's just allergies. Okay, what was I at? Yes, brother Garth, that dude be writing stimulus checks. Let me get my stimulus check on. Gotta suck the crack up. Gotta suck that cocaine out my teeth. Oh, but as much as we joke around, it's really not funny at all. And it's actually the saddest thing to witness. And all we can do is just shake our head and be like, well, this thing's going to be over pretty quickly. It's not going to be over. This is the greatest nations. This is that. We're winning in Ukraine one day and we're not winning the next. Ukraine put up a counteroffensive. It failed, but they put up a counteroffensive. It's sad because when you lie, you gotta lie and lie and lie and lie some more. And then the people that listen to the lies, they have to scratch their head and they have to say, do I still want to participate in this lie? Or if I call you on out and then you gaslight me because I called out the lie, then something's going on. Houston, we have a problem. They don't want to indulge in this lie anymore. Uh oh. Pack up shop. When you listen to these commentators and they say the threat to globalization, well, what they actually mean is this is the threat to their imperialistic dynamics that they were able to cultivate for the last 4, 5, 600 years. That was the wealth building aspects of the Roman Catholic Church that the nations participated in. And they called it spreading the word of the Most High by sword and pillage. See, all these things have now been exposed. And that reverse engineering of captivating the mind to not read the Bible. There was a brother the other day, he contacted me from out of Kenya, and he was asking for support. so he can have Bibles in his village. This is when you know it's real family. When they're asking for Bibles in their village, in their local dialect. And I asked him, I said, "You need Bibles in your local dialect?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Because our family, my congregation for the church, they call it church. That's fine. We know that we are the people. We understand that we are the people." You got to understand, family, a lot of the traditions and mannerisms that they carry are Hebraic. But because those mannerisms are followed down, those aren't easily broken. So then they have to have an influence on them through Catholicism. And Catholicism does not like to read the Bible. And he said that. He said, "Brother, we need Bibles because they discouraged us from reading the word. But we know who we are. And that's why we need this Bible so we can read, so we can have an understanding." Do y'all really know how powerful that is? It's not money for these supplies, these desks, these things here. This is the basics. We need the word of the Most High because we need to read it. We need to read it for ourselves. We need to understand it for ourselves. Because why? Because the people are speaking up because they're tired of being lied to. Because the illusions and the gimmicks are falling away. And we're seeing that happen at this very time. Psalms 49. "Hear this, all ye people. Give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor together. My mouth shall speak of wisdom. The meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. I will incline my ear to a parable. I will open my dark saying upon the harp. Wherefore should I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity of my heel shall compass me about? They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them, excuse me, can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to Yahuwah a ransom for him. For the redemption of their soul is precious, and it ceaseth forever, that he should still live forever and not see corruption. For he seeth that wise men die. Likewise, the fool and the brutish person perish and leave their wealth to others. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beast that perish. For their way is their folly, yet their prosperity approve their sayings. Selah. Like sheep they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in mourning. And their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling. But Yahuwah will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me. Selah. Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. Though while he lived, he blessed his soul, and men will praise thee. And when thou doest well to thyself, he shall go to the generations of his fathers. They shall never see light. Man that is in honor understandeth not, is like the beasts that perish. The generations that tried to keep this wealth around, that tried to keep this system around, well, it's coming to an end, and they see it coming to an end. The only thing that we can do is just give the Most High praise, because He is doing the work, and it's far surpassing anything that we can think or imagine. We're living in some awesome times, but we're living in some times that are perilous. But we have to remember that we trust in the Most High, and we trust in Him only. That has to be our attitude. That has to be our walk. That has to be our reflection. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces in these next couple of weeks. We said this is going to be a very interesting year this year. To be honest, family, I believe that with these two sticks coming together, the way is being prepared. And we didn't even really see how that preparation was going to be. If you were to ask me at the end of last year, on the 31st of December, that we would have been seeing all of these things happening on the continent, that I'd be doing what I'm doing with Quest Unite Africa, I would have said, I don't know. I don't think so. I really can't see myself doing that because I really couldn't see myself doing this. This is the furthest thing from my scope of reality. But look at what the Most High does. And he's having his people come together in ways that we never thought was imaginable. So all we can do is just give him glory, give him praise, and give him honor. Because it's awesome seeing the Most High move. And it's awesome seeing him move amongst his people, bringing them out of the grave. It's even funny. Putin said, he said, Africa's a graveyard. And people are getting all mad. But when they really understood it, it was. And now the bones are rattling. Now the breath of life is coming back into them. Are you seeing how prophecy is being fulfilled? This is a vast army that they just riled up. And now they're not just gonna let their brothers be eaten up by the wolf anymore. That's an awesome thing to see. Burkina Faso and Mali come together, vowing to defend neighboring Niger. That's an awesome thing to witness. And whoever thought that we would see that so quickly, I might add. So, family, don't get disillusioned. Don't fall for the gimmicks because it is the Most High who's in control. And this is a time like no other. Hallelujah. So, family, tomorrow we will have QTUA Fridays, QTUA discussions. Most High willing, that will be on tomorrow. So, family, I definitely want to say thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting Covenant Awakenings channel, and definitely thank you for supporting Quest Unite Africa and all the endeavors that we do. This is a time, family, like no other. And it's really an awesome thing to be living in this time. And also, in this time, I really, my personal opinion, this is my personal opinion, I believe we don't have much longer. That's my personal opinion. Now, will we go through war and conflict? Absolutely. No doubt about it. But I know that the Most High will always provide. There's going to be something coming down. Just watch and see. It'll come from a completely different angle. Well, I know the ultimate time frame is that they want things wrapped up by 2030. I think they want folks living in the Borg pods by 2030. But I do say that, something is about to go down. They're already setting things up. Fed now, the visas and how they're vanning them, how they're slowing up passports. They're already getting stuff set up. And now the new one is, you know, social media regulation. They're about to lock things down in a massive way. So with that, family, I got to get some work done this morning. Most High willing, I'll be back on tomorrow with Question Night Africa Fridays. Uh, hallelujah. So with that said, shalom, salama, siemi, shalom. Peace and blessings, Yasharel.